Y'all ready? Oh, they got grape soda. It's a wrap. Hang on. So I'm going to continue what we were doing yesterday, and we're going to add on, because I read some of the comments and responses to the last couple posts. And of course, you know, some of the Afro-Latinos were speaking up in the sense that they're still trying to defend the Latino tag. So we're going to get into that, because notice how they'll be in the comment section trying to play it off as if I'm the racist one for calling out the racism within their culture. And you got to notice that's the same shit white people. That's what guilty people do. Whenever they know something is wrong about themselves and it's being called out, they start to do, in psychology, what's called projection, right? They start to accuse you of doing the shit that they know that they do that's wrong. And that's the same shit white people do. And if you notice, these Latinos do the same shit white people do because they're fucking white people. And it's either that or they're coons in the sense of they're Afro-Latinos, black people, who identify more with their oppressor than they do with their own people. You know what the equivalent to that is? A Negro patriot. Them niggas that be joining the military and be like, America, and swear on the Constitution. That the Latin Afro-Latinos, a lot of them are that version of us American Negroes. That's all they are, just in the Caribbean and in South and Central America. And you got to realize that the Negroes in Central and South America, they never had the liberation that us Caribbean Negroes and North American Negroes had. Because remember, there were more of them in population. 95% of the so-called slaves which are taken from Africa, right, came over here, came to South and Central America. So they never had the issue of having to deal with the need to cling together and separate. Do you understand what I'm saying? They didn't feel as threatened. The conditioning they went through wasn't as severe and wasn't as long in duration as it was for those of us up here who were in fewer numbers, right? So you got to realize that. That's the reason why they can't see why they're coons. They really can't see what's wrong with what they're doing. They, as black people themselves, who happen to be a part of Latin culture, cannot see why limpieza de sangre is harmful for themselves. Because they don't see any value for themselves, because they perceive the world through the lens that we spoke of yesterday. All right, so what is that lens we spoke of? So this is why I have very little patience for them or any of the bullshit that they got to say, because they love to say, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. But when it comes time for them to say, you know what, we are negro, they're nowhere to be seen. So any of you Spanish people in here, if you're not a Negro, you shouldn't be saying the word nigga. You don't claim to be us. You don't fuck with us like that. You understand what I'm saying? Whenever we're going through our shit, you guys are nowhere to be seen. You're not helping us. And then I had one of them in the comment section trying to tell me, right? Oh, well, maybe you're not fucking with the right Latinos. You goddamn right I'm not fucking with the right Latinos, because I'm fucking with Latinos. And they don't fuck with my people. He doesn't even realize he's making my point. Why should I have to find the right Latinos to fuck with? Negroes, we fuck with each other off the strength, off rip. You understand what I'm saying? A Negro could be in fucking Wisconsin. If I see another nigga on the street and he's the first nigga I've seen since I landed in Wisconsin, we go like this and we both automatically know, yeah, we here. I recognize you. It's not the same with y'all. So don't tell me that you guys are our people and that, you know, the fact that you want to argue with me on why you can say the word nigga shows me that you're not our people. It shows a lot. It says a lot. Okay? You want to argue with me over saying the word nigga. That's ridiculous. Okay? So remember what we were talking about yesterday. So we'll give a overview again, just because we got some newbies, right? This is the matrix that's been set up by the fallen angels and their bastard children, the conquistador, right? So this is the world system that they set up. It's a race-based racism. And let me say this to you, okay, for you newbies. Racism is white supremacy. There is no separating it. A black person cannot be a white supremacist. Therefore, we cannot be racist. Like, if you Latin motherfuckers actually went through the same amount of discrimination that you could relate to Negroes on, you wouldn't be accusing Negroes of being racist for calling out the racism within your culture. You'd be able to identify with us. But the fact that you can't shows that you're not our people. You know who can relate to us? Afro-Latinos. They can. Most of them don't, because they're too busy being coons, but the ones that do show that they can. They show that they go through the same shit dealing with y'all that we do dealing with white people up here. So why is it that Negro Latinos go through the same type of treatment that white people treat American Negroes up here with y'all down there? But y'all are not racist, right? Y'all are not white people, but you act like white people when it's convenient. Y'all not going to play this game with my people no more. I'm going to continue to put my people on game, and we're going to put you motherfuckers under pressure. And especially you Afro-Latinos who like to fence sit. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, I'm Negro, but I'm not only Negro, I'm Latino. Like, you're a dumb fuck. Negro is Afro. It's the same shit. Okay? Negroes have afros. That's what's distinctive about us. Number 2, Latino means white Hispanic. You're from Spain, deriving or coming from Spain. Unless your ancestors come from Spain along your Y chromosome, you are not Spanish. You are not Latin. You are not Latino. You are not Latinx. You are not Hispanic. You're a nigga. And no matter how many times you want to attach Latinx and Latino and whatever you want to attach to Negro, you will never separate yourself from us in their eyes. You're only being a coon and separating yourself from us in your own eyes because you're a fucking sellout. And you need to hear this shit. When it's convenient for y'all want to pretend like y'all brothers and sisters with us normal niggas who don't speak Spanish. But when it's convenient for y'all to side with somebody who speaks Spanish, who is not your race, you go on and you side with them and you pretend like you're not a nigga. And y'all are going to stop playing that fucking pussy-ass game. You're going to stop playing it because we're going to call you out for it. If you're not a Negro, stop using the word nigga. Simple. Would you like it if we called you Spick? What up, my Spick? My Spick, my Spick, my Spick? What if we did that to you? Would you like it? Maybe niggas should try that shit. Every time they say my nigga, we should go my Spick. And let's see how they like it, how they respond. It's funny how they get offended, but then they can't relate to why I'm getting offended. Isn't that funny? So let's get back to it, right? Brief overview. So the world system that is being run, it's a fallen angel matrix, right? It's ruled by lower self. It's ruled by the flesh. It's ruled by simplicity of the mind. And it dominates all aspects of socio-political and economic civilization. Okay? It is a caste system. Sorry. Butchering that. I didn't even order my damn food. Hang on. Order this real quick. Nope. I don't give these niggas more than $2 in tip. That's about it, little bitch. Order that real quick. Okay. The caste system. A caste system is pretty much like a pyramid scheme, right? So look, caste system. It really comes out of where the fallen angels set up their first government, which was Assyria, right? Assyria, Babylon. But this is where it comes from. Okay? It's a pyramid scheme. So all of whatever aspects, it doesn't matter where you go in the four corners of the earth. It doesn't matter where you go in all four corners of the earth, you have this pyramid scheme that's been set up, this matrix. That pyramid scheme is known as a worldwide caste system. Do you understand? Right? It's a caste system. And the caste system is set up, it's based on classism, which is then based within complexion, wealth, and bloodlines, right? So this is how they run the matrix. So it's racism or white supremacy based on colorism and complexion and social status, right? It's a divide and conquer Hegelian dialectic tactic. Okay, so pretty much this is not the base of the pyramid. This is just showing you the four corners of the world. So this is the world just in cube form. Because remember, cube is representation of the mind. And if the matrix is used to control the minds of the people, then you get it. Right. Jamaica's is all of Caribbean island run the same way. If you don't notice, Jamaican people will come up here and look down upon American black people. Like my father tends to do that. Oh, you know, and he'll talk to me and group me into American black people, even though I'm his own son. And these type of niggas need to fucking stop. You understand? You're not like, it's crazy how Caribbean black people, like I'll use Jamaicans for instance, will come up here and we'll click up together and work together, but we don't incorporate American black people into our own setup. But we'll criticize American black people. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have to check my father about that shit. Because he grouped me in the list. He put me in there. And yeah, I'm American born, but I'm of Jamaican ancestry. I'm a first generation born American. So this is why it's easy for me to see the fuckery and for me to call it out. Because I see it in my own fucking family. I see it in motherfuckers I've grown up with my whole life. I see it online. I see it in mass media. I see it everywhere. So this is why when I'm explaining this shit, it's so accurate and it's thorough. This is why so many of them get upset, right? Okay? So let's get back to it. So remember what I said. They dominate the shit based off of complexion, wealth, and bloodlines, right? So what has to do with classism? These are the different classes they got, right? They got true sovereigns. These are the elites. You got sovereigns. These are the ones who work directly under the elites. You got citizens. These are the people who the elite work for, who they are in charge of. And the citizens keep track of the second class citizens, the negros, the blacks. So you got four different class structures, right? True sovereigns, citizens, and then second class citizens. Now within these four groups, you have all these different nations of people. You have different groups of people. And these different groups of people will break down into these subgroups. So you got to understand this. So just because you see citizen white doesn't mean that citizen white includes only modern Europeans. That's not true. Because as I've shown you before, white is a social status. What do we say? Right? Where's the social status? Where the fuck is it? See, racism based on social status. Racism based on colorism and complexion. Here's the colorism and the complexion. Right? Here's the social status. So understand what I'm talking to you about. There are Asian people, when they come over here, they're classified as white. Latino and Hispanic are classified as white. Modern Asians are classified as white. You don't believe me? Let's see. So stop letting these Latin motherfuckers play you. Stop letting them play you because they think they're slick. Let's look it up. Definition of whiteness in America. How do you think the Irish and the Italian got incorporated into the social status of white? They originally were not considered white, and then they were incorporated in here. So you got to understand how this whole white thing works. Okay? White has become well established as a racial term, but in reality, it's not. You got to realize what the fuck is going on. Okay? Look, the designation white or Caucasian may overlap with the term Hispanic. So those you Negroes calling yourself Hispanic, you're a fucking idiot. You are a jackass, a coon, a sellout, and you know it. You just mad us regular niggas are calling you out. Okay? You're a sellout. Right? Look at all of these people who can particularly fall under. It defines white as people having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. So I'm going to read it for you again. They do not conform to any biological, anthropological, or genetic criteria. It defines white people as people having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, which would include Latinos, who are the conquistadors. The Middle East, which is the Ottoman Turks or your Arabs, and North Africa, which are your Ottoman Turks, the Caliphate expansion. You don't believe me? Let's see history. I'm a bad motherfucker, and y'all are gonna come to understand this. I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers in our generation, and I don't give a damn what anybody got to say. Okay? Let's look at this. The Caliphate expansion. So first off, if you don't know what the Caliphate is, let's look. How did these white people get into North Africa? How? Caliphate. Under the leadership of Islamic stewards known as the Caliph. Right? A person considered a religious successor to the Islamic prophet Muhammad and the leader of the entire Muslim community. So, the Caliphate expansion. Right? Let's just look it up in a video. Right? This is when Arab people this is when they formulated Islam, and then they expanded from out of Arabia into all of these areas. They ended up taking over this region. So when you find black Muslims, it's because they were tortured into being black Muslims. Yes, Caliphate. The Caliphate expansion, also known as the Mohammedan expansion. Look at the years it took place. Okay? Look. We're going to watch the expansion. They took over these areas. So if you want to know where all these light-skinned Africans come from, this is where. It was these damn fucking Ottoman Turks, these Denisovans, that spread themselves, right? And they came over and they conquered. Is that not what white people do? Do white people not go from one territory to another, killing and murdering and raping and pillaging and conquering, right? Then what do? They kill the males, they rape the women, they indoctrinate the children, they make the women, the young girls, into prostitutes, harams, right? And they turn them into housemaids and servants, and they put the boys into the military so they die off so they can't reproduce, or they make them sterile. You understand what I'm saying? These are the same people, and you got to understand that. Hang on a second. Good evening, Sleep Lab. Hey, hello. All right, 1 second. Hang on a second. This is the shit I'm talking about. I just got done with this motherfucker. I asked him if he want to go to the bathroom. He tells me no. He's going to call me on the fucking phone to ask me to go to the bathroom. These motherfuckers don't listen, son. I'll be telling you. And it's a Latin motherfucker, too. Go figure. These motherfuckers don't listen, son. That's my nigga, but still. Like, come on. This motherfucker gonna ask me if I want a blanket. I have to ask this nigga if you want a blanket, he gonna tell me no. Oh man. And you know what's funny? I asked this dude. I said, "Yo, you want an extra blanket? It's kind of cold." Nah, man. Nah, I'm all right. Nigga gonna call me on the phone. You don't bring me no extra blanket, man. I'm like, this nigga can't be serious. All right, so ready? So let's go. Look at this. See? Watch the expansion. See? Slowly taking over this area. And these are the Ottoman Turks, right? Taking over this area. Okay, I'm going to just show you the end result. Look. So all these areas they ended up taking over. See what I'm saying? What did I tell you? Ottoman Empire. See, they ended up taking over these areas. Okay? See? So when you see... Look, like I'm going to show you. When you see these Ottoman Turks... I'm going to show you the people. Ottoman Turk people. You got to realize who they are. Okay, these are straight up white people. Right, but they look like the new Arabs of today. But if you compare the Arabs of today with the Arabs of yesterday, they're not the same. Okay, so that gets back to what I was saying before. All the light-skinned people. So let me show y'all the light-skinned people. Or which would fall under the criteria of white, right? Modern Europeans would be white. Ottoman Turk Arabs would be white. Modern Asians would be white. Latino and Hispanics are white. And East Indian Indos are white. So let me show you what I mean by that. All East Indians ain't the same. Just like all Hispanics ain't the same. Just like all... You get my point? Look, these are white people. See what I'm saying? East Indians. Now, there's a different type of East Indian. See what I'm saying? The East Indians in the South are darker. Right, like French Montana. Why does French Montana get to say the word nigga and he's an Arab? And Arabs put our people into slavery. So why does French Montana get to say the word nigga? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Same thing here. You got these ones who are the light-skinned, whited out ones, right? They take on after their daddy, right? They have their own version of limpieza de sangre, right? It's in their culture as well, because remember, this shit is everywhere. So it's not only in Latin culture, it's in East Indian culture. Anywhere where there are dark-skinned people, you'll find it there. So that's why I find it funny that, you know, a lot of these Latin people claim to be on our side, but whenever they get called out, they want to pretend as though their shit don't stink. Okay? Do you know what I'm saying? These would be considered white people. When they come over, this would be considered a negro. But when they come over to the United States, they are considered white people. They're not thrown in the same group as us. Okay? The only ones who are thrown in the same group as us are Negroes. Even Africans, when they come up here, do not apply as black. And I'm going to prove that to you. We're going to prove it to you right now. Okay? You can look this guy up. Mustafa Hefni, Egyptian immigrant, wants to be reclassified as black. So what does that mean? That means that these black people which come over from Africa, they're not criteriaed as black. Exactly. Why do you think they sit around and say Negroes have been in America for how many hundreds of years, but they haven't accomplished anything. They haven't been able to grow in America. Bitch, how? When we're second-class citizens and we have everything restricted and taken from us. Like, this is the bullshit that we're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when these Africans come into this country, they classify themselves as white. I got a phone call. Hang on a second. So this is why when them Africans come in here, they're able to classify themselves as white and automatically start businesses and start making money, right? This is some of the reasoning why. So we're going to get into it. Hang on. All right. So let's get back to this list, right? So here's what it is. Okay. So you got modern Europeans, like I said, these are all the groups of white people right here. All of these get grouped in, hang on, even the dark-skinned ones. So all of these get to classify as white people. Do you understand what I'm saying? And all of these people aren't the same complexion. So that gets back to the ranking or the order system based on complexion, wealth, and bloodlines. So you've got to realize that it's a combination of these three. How do you think Obama can become a president of the United States? Obama, one, he's not an African, he's not a Negro. He's an African, which is a whole different people from us. Two, Africans or would classify or can classify themselves as white. And you got to realize that. Now, does that mean there aren't Negroes in the continent of Africa? No. And we're gonna explain to you why with this guy. Because this guy is very clearly a Negro. Okay? So what does it say? Mustafa Hefni feels he's been black his whole life. The U.S. government doesn't agree. Right? Clearly that's a Negro, is it not? But guess what? The U.S. government doesn't want him to be identified with Negroes. And that should be a big red flag. All right, let's see. Let me go to this old video of Mustafa Hefni. Okay, Mustafa Hefni, YouTube. Hang on a second. Okay.
I'm a black Egyptian. My father is much darker than I am. My mother is darker than I am.
Hold up. Did you hear what he said? I am a black Egyptian. Normally, that's oxymoronic. But guess what? Black does not mean African. Black means Afro, Negro. Just because you're a Negro doesn't mean you're African. And Africans are not necessarily Negroes. And y'all need to understand this shit. Okay? So you got to understand how they talk.
In Egypt, people are identified by the religion first, not the race. So in Egypt, if you are Christian, you are a minority person. But if you're black, you're not a minority person. You are a part of the mainstream society. And I came from this background. And in Egypt, you identify as Arab and as Muslim. And in this country, when I first came, I identified myself as Arab American and Muslim first. And gradually, I became to identify myself as black. I came to the U.S. in 1978. And I became a U.S. citizen in 1985. When I became a U.S. resident, I was told by the immigration naturalization that I'm white. And I told them that I'm black, and they said, no, in this country, you are white. All Arabs in this country, all Arab immigrants are white.
Are you hearing that? Listen,
Listen,
all Arab immigrants are white. So when you wonder why these Arab people can come over dirt poor from wherever piece of shit land they come from, come into our land, set up businesses, and be successful, how is it that these dirt poor fucking sand niggas are able to come over here with nothing but fucking Moses shoes of Jerusalem on their goddamn feet and dirt, right? And set up a deli or own a gas station? How? But niggas been in this country, niggas been making money, but we can't own our own gas station, set up our own delis. Why does Poppy get to set up a deli in black people's neighborhood? Ask yourself that. Why did Poppy get to set up a bodega in black people's neighborhood, but black people can't set up a bodega in their own shit? Ask yourself that. What's the difference between Poppy and an Arab and a Chinese man? What's the difference? But Poppies are people, right? Because Poppy give you store credit, right? Listen, Poppy making a killing off your black ass. Understand that.
In 78, and I became U.S. citizen in 1985. When I became a U.S. resident, I was told by the immigration naturalization that I am white. And I told them that I'm black, and they said, no, in this country, you are white. All Arabs in this country, all Arab immigrants are white. I didn't pay much.
All Arab immigrants are white. So you think that's not the same for these Latinos? You think they're not considered white? Huh? You think it's not all the same for fucking Asian people? Huh?
Such attention in the beginning to this because in the Arab world we identify with our ethnicity first as Arabs and with...
Thank you, Mr. Michael Berio. At least you said it. I just want my black people to know that you Latinos are mercenaries. So you don't give a damn about us Negroes. You side with whoever you can benefit from. And that's all I want my people to know. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. They be quick to call you primo when they can benefit from you. Anything then, you're a fucking, you're a mayate, you're a fucking cocolo, you're a cockroach, you're anything else but primo to them unless they can benefit from you. And I want you Negroes to understand that.
And then with the race second, as black or white or whatever. But in this country, you identify with your racial group first and then with your ethnicity second. Gradually, I became black first and Arab second. And I rejected my white classification publicly for the first time in 1987.
It depends. All Nigerians and all Ghanaians, all people in Africa are not the same people. So you got to understand that. All people in Africa are not the same people. And if you want to understand what I mean by that, then you need to buy this book. Jack Forbes, Africans and Native, I believe it's Native American, Native Indians. This is the book, okay? Native Americans by Jack Forbes. It don't take too many pages to start getting good. It starts getting good at around like page 17, 18, 19, 20, and so on and so forth. Okay? We were shipped over to Africa from the Americas. They stole us from here and shipped us over to Europe, to Asia, and to Africa. That's why we find our people over there on the West Coast. Not because we come from the West Coast of Africa. We were taken to the West Coast of Africa from the Caribbean, from South America, places like Guatemala, Peru, Belize, okay, Mexico. We are the original Aboriginal American people, and we got to understand that. We really got to understand that. That's why they're able to play, not him per se, but this is why the other nations of people are able to have crafty counsel over us. This is why all of these other nations of people come from everywhere else around the globe, right? Hang on a second. Not around the globe, from around the world, because we know we don't live on the globe. But hang on a second. And don't mistake me being passionate for me to speaking down on you. I'm just trying to drive home a point. Okay, so we'll just use this map. So this is our territory here. All of this shit is ours. Okay? This is Shemitic territory. This is our shit. Right? Is this the only Shemitic territory? No. I'm just saying this is our shit for sure. Okay? All the other nations came from here, here, and here, and here, and they came over here to get a slice of what we got going on here. Okay? So all of them from over here came from over here to over here. So what are the people over here? The people on this side are all of these motherfuckers. The modern Europeans, the Ottoman Turks, Arabs, the modern Asians, the Latino Hispanics, which are descendants of people from Spain and Portugal, right? The East Indians, whether they're Indo or Mela, and the so-called Africans, or the non-Negroes, right? The non-Negro Africans. So this is where the non-Negro Africans come from. This is the area where the East Indians come from. This is the area where the modern Europeans come from. And this is the area where the modern Asians come from. They all came from over this area to come get a piece of our pie over here. Do you understand what's going on? So, understand, again, the political system they got set up, right? So let's listen to my man Hafni again. Let's run it back.
I became to identify myself as black. I came to the U.S. in 1978, and I became a U.S. citizen in 1985. When I became a U.S. resident, I was told by the Immigration and Naturalization that I am white. And I told them that I'm black, and they said, no, in this country, you are white. All Arabs in this country, all Arab immigrants are white. I didn't pay much attention in the beginning to this because in the Arab world, we identify with our ethnicity first as Arabs and then with the race second as black or white or whatever. But in this country, you identify with your racial group first and then with your ethnicity second. Gradually, I became black first and Arab second. And I rejected my white classification publicly for the first time in 1987, in February, as a panelist in a function sponsored by the Association of the Study of Black Life and History in Detroit. I said that I belong to two minority groups. I am Arab American and Black American, and I am racially black and ethnically Egyptian. I was harassed by my employer right after that. I worked for a white school district.
First off, I want you to notice how he's an Aboriginal Egyptian. So when the scriptures say that the Israelites were mistaken for the Egyptians, this is what an original Egyptian looked like. Do Latinos look like this? All right, y'all don't understand what I'm saying to you. I'm like, y'all don't understand. Okay? If the Israelites went into captivity, right, and we look like the Egyptians, and we could be mistaken for the Egyptians, right? And this guy is an Aboriginal Arab, right? A real Egyptian, a real Arab, a real Ishmaelite, right? Let's just say he's not Egyptian. Let's just say he's Arab, right? He's the real Ishmael. He's the real Esau, right? Does it look anything like these Latinos? Watch. When I Google Latino, right? Let's just see what Google brings up for Latino. Right? Look at all these people. If he was in ancient Egypt, would he be mistaken for an Egyptian? Yes or no? If he'd be mistaken for an Egyptian, let me see some hearts going right now. Where are them hearts at? He'd be mistaken for an Egyptian? All right. If he'd be mistaken for a white man. Nah. All right. Now, if he wouldn't be mistaken for an Egyptian, let me see them hearts. Common sense should tell you he would not be mistaken for an Egyptian, right? How about him? Does he resemble him? Do they even look the fucking same? Huh? Huh? They don't look the fucking same. So why are we telling these people there are people? Why are we letting his son call you a nigga? Why are we letting his children call you nigga? Why do we let him say nigga on tracks? If you wouldn't let a regular ass white man say it, if you wouldn't let this cracker say it, why are you letting this cracker say it? Fruity ass niggas. Why does he get to say the word nigga? Does he get to say the word nigga? If he gets to say the word nigga, why don't other white people get to say the word nigga? Why don't any of these other people get to say the word nigga? Why do these cocksuckers get to say the word nigga when they treat us the same as these people? Huh? Why? I don't get it. Weezy and Yandel. That's not Weezing, but I forget who that is. I don't even care. That might be Enrique Iglesias, but I don't see the mole on his face. Right? Why did they get to say the word nigga? And he's straight up white. Huh? These are straight fucking white people. Even he told you, in a Latin community, you do not bring black people home. Why? Why don't you bring black people home in the black community? Huh? Why? Could it be mejorar la raza? Could it be that? Could it be this? Remember from yesterday? Maybe this is the reason why. Yeah, let's just bring it up. So you can see I'm not lying. George Lopez racism. These are not our people. Stop telling them they're our people. That's why Poppy gets to set up a deli in black people's neighborhoods, but black people can't set up a deli in their own neighborhood because they're not our people.
There's still 2 rules with the fucking Latinos family. Don't marry somebody black, and don't park in front of our house.
Now, you ever been around Spanish people and they start telling jokes and everything is race related? Maybe y'all don't know Spanish people like I know Spanish people, but I know Spanish people like the white side of my hand. You understand? I know them very well. And they love to downplay niggas in their jokes. And their jokes don't even be jokes. It be straight racism. But because they find racism funny, they think it's a joke. And they think it's cute. Now you tell me what the fuck is funny about what he said. But everybody who's Spanish is in the crowd dying laughing. Ha ha ha. He's right. You don't bring niggers home. You want to know why it's funny? Because it's an inside fucking joke between them and their community. And the ones who don't know about it are you niggas. You understand? It's an inside joke. That's why it's a joke. Let's play it again.
Don't marry somebody black. And don't park in front of our house.
And then when a black woman gets offended, look at how he talks to her. Sit your fucking ass down. You lucky he didn't throw a nigger at the end. Right? The only reason why he didn't throw nigger at the end is because when he's done on his racist tirade, he's going to go to black people and say, oh, it's just jokes. I'm just joking. That's how these people are. They do white people's dirty work for them because white people can't get away with doing it. But for some strange reason, niggas like to let these bitch motherfuckers get away with doing it. And I'm tired of it.
I'm talking, bitch. Sit your fucking ass down. You made me see a show. Sit your ass down. You can't take a joke. You're in the wrong motherfucking place. You can't take a joke. You're in the wrong. So sit your...
Now you see how he tried to play that, right? You can't take a joke and sit your ass down. What the fuck is a joke about limpieza de sangre? What is a joke about that? What is a joke? What is a joke about mejorar la raza? What is a joke about that? Huh? So if there's any Latinos inside this live, please tell me what the joke is. We all want to know, especially us negros. We want to know what the joke is. We want to be in on the laugh. So help us get in on the laugh. Tell us what's so funny about this. And I'm trying to read the comments. I know there's some Latino people in here, but I don't see no explanations going on. What exactly is funny about this? What is the joke about this? I'm waiting. I'll wait another minute. Got some French fries here, so let me stuff my face while y'all come up with some bullshit. I know y'all in here. but they all quiet. Isn't that funny? Isn't that how white people are? Isn't that funny? Isn't that how white people are? Whenever you catch them, all of a sudden they don't have shit to say. They be quiet as hell. Instead of telling the truth and saying, you know what, Brother V, you're right. Our people are racist as fuck and we don't like you niggas. Instead of them just coming out right and saying it, they'd rather be quiet. What does that tell you about them? I should tell you a lot. They would rather not speak out and tell the truth than to speak out and do us a favor by telling the truth. And you want to know how I know that's true? Because my own friends, Latin friends from high school, did that shit to me roughly about a year or about a year and a half ago. Not all of them, but I do notice that majority of them don't speak up and say anything in favor of black people. They'll go to me, man, that's fucked up. Man, that's fucked up. They like doing that shit, but they don't like actually speaking out and helping. They just like saying, you know what? I see you going through the struggle. That's all Spanish people do. I see you going through the struggle. They don't ever lift a hand to fucking help anything. But anytime they're going through some shit, they got their motherfucking hands out. And black people like dumbasses, we keep helping them. And it's time to stop helping them. We put them on game in this country. And y'all gotta realize that. There would be no fucking Jennifer Lopez without us. There'd be no Mark Anthony without us. There'd be no John Leguizamo without us. There'd be no Pitbull without us. There'd be no Tego Calderon without us. There would be no reggaeton, therefore no Weezen and Yandel, no Daddy Yankee. There would be none of that without Nando Boom. They have nothing without us. And it's time to start putting them in their fucking place because they're too goddamn cocky and they're too arrogant. And it's time. Serious. Dead serious.
Actually black and ethnically Egyptian. I was harassed by my employer right after that. I work for a white school district. The superintendent is white. All the associate superintendents are white, even though that we provide services to 30% black population. But the organization is white and the approach is very white. The attitude towards me changed completely after I went out publicly and rejected my white classification. One coworker came to me and told me, a white coworker came to me and told me right after the function that he met with the superintendent, and if I don't keep my mouth shut, my educational career is over. He said, you have nothing to do with these people, you have a history and a culture. These people came from the jungle, you have nothing to do with them. These people lie and steal. When I see one of them in my neighborhood, I call the police. And I was told by the director of general education, who is retired now.
Y'all listening to what he's saying, right? Where do you think all these other nations, I want you to listen to what he's saying. Okay? Listen honestly and truly to what he's saying. He's telling you that these government officials said you're not to associate with these Negroes over here in this country. Right? You're not the same as them. They have no history. Right? And then what does he say? Listen carefully.
Superintendent, and if I don't keep my mouth shut, my educational career.
The superintendent, right, told him if he doesn't keep his mouth shut about him being black and his status being white, right, him being a Negro yet his status being white, he'd be out of employment. So what do you think all these other nations of people, why do you think they all know the truth about what's going on in relation to our people, but they say and do nothing? Because that's a part of the contract. Oh, what? Dumb Diverses 1452, Psalm 83. Oh, okay, y'all think Psalm 83 is a game, right? Okay, let's see. All these other nations worked against us. Okay? Do not remain silent. Do not turn a deaf ear. Do not stand aloof, O God. See how your enemies growl, how your foes rear their heads. With cunning, they conspire against your people. With cunning, they conspire against your people. With cunning, they conspire against your people. With cunning, with cleverness, with crafty counsel, they conspire, they plot against your people. Okay? They plot against those you cherish, God's people, his crown jewels. Let us destroy them as a nation. So if you're listen to what he said. They destroyed us as a nation. They took away our identity and our history. And this is what they go around telling other people.
Classification. One coworker came to me and told me, a white coworker came to me and told me right after the function, completely after the position is white and the approach is very wide. The attitude towards me, but the organization is white and the approach is very wide.
Listen.
The attitude towards me changed completely after I went out publicly and rejected my white classification. One coworker came to me and told me, a white coworker came to me and told me right after the function that he met with the superintendent, and if I don't keep my mouth shut, my educational career is over. He said, you have nothing to do with these people, you have a history and a culture. These people came from the jungle, you have nothing to do with them.
These people came from the jungle, implying we have no history, right? Let us destroy them as a people. Pan-Africanism. They got you thinking you came from fucking Africa. You're fucking destroyed as a people if you think you came from fucking Africa. The out of Africa theory. If you think you evolved from a fucking ape, you're fucking destroyed. You understand? If you don't understand that the Torah is our cultural book, our heritage, you're destroyed. Right? They plot against those you cherish. Let us destroy them as a nation so that Israel's name is remembered no more. Does anybody call us the Israelites anymore? Nah, they call us black, nigger, negro, kafir, mayate. You name it. They got a whole bunch of bywords for us. With one mind, they plotted together. So with one mind, all of these nations plotted together. The fucking Moors, the goddamn East Indians, the Latino Hispanics, the modern Asian, which are the rape babies, the bastard children, which are left in charge over the Latin community, the modern Asians, the Arabs, and the modern Europeans. They all work together against us. So we got to stop playing. This is Psalm 83, okay? So, and you're seeing Psalm 83 in the video.
These people lie and steal. When I see one of them in my neighborhood, I call the police.
Look at the stereotype. These people lie and steal. When I see them in my neighborhood, I call the police. So why do you think Asian people who never met a black person in their life come over to the Americas and they automatically look down upon the black man? What the fuck do you think they're being taught and told? How do you think black people are portrayed to the world through the media, through the entertainment industry? White people have made our imagery to be criminal to the rest of the world. So this is why you think you expect these other nations of people to embrace limpieza de sangre? Huh? Or mejorar la raza. Why do you think they embrace things like that? Because they look at the imagery which is shown by white people about us, and what do? They believe it. They never once experienced that stereotype, but they come over here and they believe it. Did we do anything to any of these nations of people? We did nothing to them. Nothing to them. We did nothing to them. So you know what? You should not be afraid to put these stinking ass nations in their fucking place, because all they do is talk shit. So it's time. Asian people talk shit, remind them of how they eat dogs. The Yulin Dog Festival. I love reminding Asian people of that. Especially when they go, I'm not Chinese. I go, well, I can't tell. How do you like it? How do you like being stereotyped, you bitch? You understand what I'm saying? Start treating these other nations the way that they treat you. If they treat you with peace, you give them peace. If they treat you with any type of racial distinction, you treat them with a racial distinction. You understand what I'm saying? And hit them with the facts, not with not with made up stereotypes. Hit them with the truth. They can Google the Yulin Dog Festival. You can't deny the fact that you niggas eat dogs. Like Latin people cannot deny the fact that they eat gerbils and rodents. I can look up, they share the same diet as Mongolians. Not all of them, because all Latinos are not the same. Keep that in mind. Some of them have a European diet. That's because they're the bastard children the conquistador left behind. Some of them have an indigenous diet where they eat rodents and other shit like that, right? Why is that? Because they have a Mongolian history. They come from where? Scandinavia, fucking Scythian territories, Mongol territories. Maybe I think it is called no, it's not Scandinavia. Siberian territories. They share the same diet because they're the same people. And then you got the Negros. The Negro Afro-Latinos, they share the same diet usually as the rest of Caribbean black people. If you haven't noticed, we all cook plátano and vegetables and season things the same way, more or less. There's a reason for that, because we're the same people.
And I was told by the director of general education, who is retired now, in '88, I was told by him that I get people angry when I say that I'm black Egyptian. If I just say that I'm Egyptian, I would get along. I have to add that I was denied promotion twice because I chose black classification. This is part of my 2 lawsuits.
He was denied promotion because he chose black classification. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is a class issue, right? Black classification. Okay, he was down here. So because he was down here and he elected to be down here, he doesn't get any of the privileges which come from here. Do you understand?
Suits against my employer, which are currently pending. 2 lawsuits.
Now, just for
I get along. I have to add that I was denied promotion twice because I chose black classification. This is part of my 2 lawsuits against my employer, which are currently pending. 2 lawsuits.
Now, just for the education of our viewership, why don't you share with us a breakdown of Egypt as it is today, insofar as blacks or combinations thereof of European descent and what have you?
We don't have Egyptians of European descent in Egypt. We have a population which is basically a mixture of ancient Egyptian blacks who intermarried with Arabs right after the Arab conquest. The ancient Egyptian population was...
Alright, remember how I brought up the Caliphate Empire? He's gonna... Just listen. Watch.
Now, just for the education of our viewership, why don't you share with us a breakdown of Egypt as it is today, insofar as blacks or combinations thereof?
So when they say blacks, they're talking about the Aboriginal people of the land. The Adamites, right? Listen.
Of European descent and what have you.
We don't have Egyptians of European descent in Egypt.
We do not have Egyptians of European descent in Egypt. There's no such fucking thing. Right? Listen.
Egypt. We have a population which is basically a mix.
The population of Egypt, at least at this time in this video, was a mixture between the Aboriginal people, the Aboriginal Negroes of that territory, and the Ottoman Turks, right? Remember I told you the Mohammedan Caliphate expansion, right? Just mentioned it. Where are we going? Hold on. Mohammedan expansion era. Okay, the Mohammedan expansion, okay, also known as Babur, or we can go the Islamic. Okay, early Muslim conquests and the spread of Islam, right? So again, this is how the Ottoman Turks, these people, right? The Arabs, which keep in mind, they're not the real Arabs. These are modern European Neanderthals who came into these territories, murdered the men, raped the women, and indoctrinated the children. Therefore, they left behind the original dark-skinned people are no longer there primarily. It's these lighter-skinned rape babies, these Turks, who have replaced them, right? So this is what happened throughout from 1622 all the way to at least 750 BC, where they took over different regions of Africa. So you're talking about a lot of division and religious tribalism in Africa. That has nothing to do with the original people of the continent. That has to do with these white motherfuckers who came in from here and brought their stinking ass religion all over the fucking place. You understand? And then, of course, these Moors occupy this region, talking about, Islam. They work with these motherfuckers too, man. And you got to realize that.
Picture of ancient Egyptian blacks who intermarried with Arabs right after.
What? Ancient Egyptian what?
Which is basically a mixture of ancient Egyptian blacks who intermarried with Arabs right after the Arab conquest. The ancient Egyptian population was brown and black before the Arab conquest.
What?
We have a population which is basically a mixture of ancient Egyptian blacks who intermarried with Arabs right after the Arab conquest. The ancient Egyptian population was brown and black before the Arab conquest. But before the Arab conquest came the Greeks. The ancient Egyptian population was in Egypt for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptian population was brown and black, and the Greeks came in 300 BC, and they started to intermarry with the local population, and then the Romans came and ruled from 70 BC until they were conquered by the Arabs and kicked out by the Arabs in the 7th century. And these people intermarried with the Egyptian Copts. And
now keep in mind, the Grecians, the Romans, and the Arabs are all the same people. They're just different family branches. Okay? They're all Ottoman Turks. You don't believe me? Okay. Alright, I know you don't believe me. Oh, I know. See? Ottoman Turks, right? Let's go. Let's see what nations we got there. About some Ottoman Turks. Oh, Anatolia. Byzantine Empire. Bosnia. Bulgaria. Siberia. Hungary. Croatia. Whatever. Malmuk. Whatever the fuck that is. Okay. Libya. Tunisia. Cyprus. Algeria. Hejaz, whatever that is, Iraq, Oita, whatever that is, Bulgaria, Romania, Albania, Serbia, all them Avdias, Bosnia, Herzegovina, fucking Russia, Hellenic Republic, whatever that is. Look. Okay, Ottoman Turks. Let's see. That's the Ottoman Empire, but I need y'all to see Ottoman Turks. Ottoman. Is this the one that I want? There's another one showing all the nations that it took over. I gotta find that for y'all. Where it shows all the people who are part of the Ottoman Empire, Ottoman Turk nations. Let's see. I did a post about it, but I don't think I I'm going to be able to find this right now. We'll see. Let me see. Okay, history of Ottoman ruled countries. This will do for right now, although it's not what I was looking for. Okay. What do you see here? Albania, Algeria, Armenia. And don't whenever I put out that Kim Kardashian video, where they were like, well, Kim Kardashian's Armenian. She's not white. Well, here's the shutting them down, right? Armenia, Bosnia, and whatever the fuck that is. Bulgaria, Cyprus, Egypt, Eritrea, right? Eritrea, which explains why so many goddamn black coons come out of there. Greece, Hungary, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kosovo, Libya, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, Syria, Tunisia, Ukraine. These are all a part of the Ottoman family tree, right? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Ottoman family tree. Okay, all white people. All whiteys. All white people. All white people. Look. More white people. More. Let me scroll back with my chair. Look. They're all white. They're all white. Look. Well, what are they wearing? What are they wearing? Fez. Oh, that's that same shit Moors wear, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Huh? Okay, these are all white people, okay? So please understand that. Not the same as these people right here.
They made the pigmentation of the Egyptians, the Copts, much lighter because of this intermarriage with Europeans.
Now, you're an educator, okay? Now, how do you deal with situations when you practice your profession insofar as dealing with the mythology or the misconceptions about Egypt being a white civilization? How do you deal with that?
This is a big problem because Egypt, the ancient Egyptian civilization was a black civilization, and ancient Egyptians were black according to the